NewsVision starts right now.
Breaking tonight in Florida, the controversial bill called Don't Say Gay has passed. The Florida House of Representatives passed the bill that bans classroom discussion about sexual orientation in state primary schools. The bill is now heading to the state's Republican-held Senate, where it is also expected to pass.
Yeah, and also breaking tonight, 3 ex-officers have been convicted for civil rights violations in the killing of George Floyd. 2 Tao, J. Alexander Kewen, and Thomas Lane have been charged in breaching Floyd's right to medical attention. Tao and Lane also charged today for not stepping in to stop Derek Chauvin from restraining Floyd's neck for nearly 10 minutes in 2020. Hello and welcome to NewsVision. I'm Daryl Barnes.
And I'm Claire O'Connor. Thank you for joining us. Back to our main story. It's been a tumultuous 24 hours in Ukraine after Russia began its invasion at 5 a.m. local time.
Reporter Annalise Iraola has been following the story all day and joins us live in the studio with more. Annalise, get us up to speed here.
Guys, after months of military buildup, early this morning, Russia has invaded Ukraine, which was once a part of the Soviet Union. The death toll climbing, dozens of Ukrainian soldiers and civilians have been reported dead, and the United States is outlining the latest sanctions against Russia.
President Joe Biden unleashing several more crushing economic sanctions against Russia, saying they're designed to, quote, maximize long-term impact on Russia and minimize the impact in the U.S. and its allies.
The United States is not doing this alone.
Biden says the new sanctions will block 4 major Russian banks from the U.S. financial system, freezing their assets.
We will limit Russia's ability to do business in dollars, euros, pounds, and yen to be part of the global economy.
Before the first light of dawn, the Russian attack began. Missiles raining down on locations near the capital, Kyiv. Stunned Ukrainian families taking cover in subways turned bomb shelters.
They actually attacking in our neighborhood and they're making us feel insecure and very unsafe.
Others scrambling to pull money out of ATMs or deadlocked in traffic to evacuate the capital city of Kyiv.
Well known.
In a chilling TV broadcast, Russian President Vladimir Putin warning other countries to not interfere.
Russia's response will be fast and leave you such consequences you will never face again and you faced again in your history.
Biden unfazed in his response.
Putin is the aggressor. Putin chose this war, and now he and his country will bear the consequences.
Vladimir Putin has said that the reason for the invasion is his belief that Ukraine is an illegitimate country that is historically Russian. Another motivation behind this invasion is Putin's fear that Ukraine may join NATO. Over here in the U.S., Americans are feeling the pressure of the conflict as well, especially in the stock market and at the pump. Markets in Asia and Europe declined sharply today, and the U.S. opened heavily in the red before rallying with 90 minutes left in the trading day. The S&P 500 began the session down almost 3%, but closed up 1.5 percentage. The Dow cleared a near 900-point deficit before rallying into the close, finishing the day at 92 points. Finally, Brent crude oil closed the session close to $100 a barrel, despite opening the session around $104 a barrel. Moving forward, a rise in energy costs and a potential slow in supply chains can be expected worldwide. Annalise Iraola, UMTV. Guys?
Thank you, Annalise. Almost 2 years after Ahmaud Arbery's death, the Arbery family got a second wave of justice. On Tuesday, three white men convicted of murdering Arbery in Brunswick, Georgia, were found guilty of federal hate crimes. Tuesday's decision backed prosecutors' claims that Arbery was followed and killed for being black. While all 3 men involved are currently serving life sentences for Arbery's murder, one of the family's attorneys says these new charges are still an important symbol for the family.
This has been a 2-year journey for them to get to this point where they can tell their son as they look up in heaven, we did it, we got you justice.
Earlier this month, Georgia declared February 23rd Ahmaud Arbery Day to celebrate Arbery's family and the Brunswick community gathered Wednesday morning as the town renamed a local park in Arbery's memory. Arbery's father, Marcus Arbery Sr., spoke at the dedication and said that Ahmaud can finally rest in peace.
A relaxing weekend at the beach gone wrong. On Saturday, one helicopter crashed straight into Miami Beach waters just feet away from swimmers. The private helicopter flew into the water Saturday afternoon. The crash was caught on camera and footage was released by the Miami police. All 3 passengers on board are okay. 2 of them were taken to the hospital after the crash, but are in stable condition. One of them has no injuries. Some people at the beach rushed towards the helicopter after the crash to help passengers and stop the chopper from going underwater. The cause of the crash is still unknown. The FAA and National Transportation Team are investigating the incident.
And if you've seen the signs and eager campaigners near the lakeside patio, you may know that student government election season is in full swing. UMTV reporter Kira Wright is live on the scene of where all the SG excitement has been taking place this week. Kira, what is going on?
Thanks, guys. Tonight I'm here at the Shalala Student Center in the middle of the Coral Gables campus, where in-person voting launched this Monday. There are 2 tickets that are running to be the next student government.
Daily and delicious giveaways, from bagels to cupcakes. The special occasion, incentivizing students to vote in the student government election. 2 tickets are running for the executive positions, Ticket Refresh and Ticket A U for You. Every afternoon this week, candidates have been campaigning at The Rock and connecting with students.
The name of our campaign is AU for You, and it's really just about making sure that this U is serving students to the best of its ability. The university is giving students the priority.
My campaign is about issuing a new era of transparency. We want to refresh, revitalize student government in the Coral Gables campus to have transparency between student body, admin, and student government.
Students scanned a QR code to cast their votes online on Engage. All undergraduate students who pay the student activity fee are eligible to vote. Learn more about the candidates at sg.miami.
If you didn't cast your vote yet, you still have until midnight tonight to cast your vote on the Engage website. Results will be announced soon. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Kiara Wright.
Thank you, Kira. A scary scene on campus Monday. Just after 11 a.m., a 2010 Jeep Wrangler burst into flames on the 3rd floor of the Pavia parking garage here at the University of Miami. Nobody was injured in the fire, though. But the vehicle is the property of one UM student. It was determined that it had a leaking transmission, which is combustible. According to the Governmental Occupation Safety and Health Administration, combustible means it can catch on fire, which is likely what happened here.
The cop told me this has happened before with Jeeps, so he actually owns a Jeep, and he said that his Jeep got recalled a couple of years ago for something similar to this with the transmission leaking, so I don't know.
According to the official Jeep website, Chapman's particular model was recalled in May 2016 for excessive internal pressure, in addition to a ruptured airbag. Chapman said he purchased the car in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic, and he says there were no problems seemingly with the car when he bought it.
And University of Miami students can now squeeze in some self-care time in between classes. Reporter Bayla Mudgill has the details.
Where do you think college students go in their free time between classes? The library? The dorms? A coffee shop? Those would be some obvious answers. But at the University of Miami, there is one more spot that some students visit: Golden Touch, the on-campus nail salon and barbershop in Lakeside Village. Some Lakeside students have certainly become loyal customers.
I don't have to drive anywhere. I can just walk down, take the elevator, and just get my hair cut.
Nick chooses the salon over others because of its unique experience.
I like how it's very student-oriented. It's a good community.
But it seems like other students have not yet tapped into this special community.
It was pretty tricky to find. Talking to my friends, and when I told them I was coming here, most of them didn't really know that this was a place on campus that you could go to and get your hair cut, get your nails done.
Golden Touch is more expensive than other salons walking distance from campus. For example, a gel manicure at Golden Touch costs $35. However, at Mariola's and Hot Nails, the same service is a couple dollars less. but Emmy doesn't mind.
But if you take it into the time and Uber and gas money, it actually about the same.
The salon's hours are only from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and closed on the weekends.
There's a huge staffing shortage across the country. As we grow our staff, we can take on some weekends.
In addition to expanding their staff, in the future, they also hope to expand their services. I am Bela Madgil reporting for UMTV.
You know, Daryl, between that waffle shop and now a nail salon, what don't they have at Lakeside?
Yeah, well, we're still working on some things. We're working on getting another studio over there. We'll call it Studio Z. Studio L.
Okay.
Yeah, well, while we work on that, coming up next on NewsVision.
Pride Month may have been in October, but we will take you to one gay pride festival in the heart of Miami's most historical neighborhoods. Stay with us.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
A popular festival has returned to Miami after being gone for 2 years because of COVID. The Gay Ocho Festival took place over the weekend in Miami neighborhood of Little Havana. Musicians, performers, artists, and food vendors lined the streets of the popular Calle Ocho for the Hispanic and Latino Pride Festival.
You know, the world is tough, so we want to express laughs, especially during this wonderful festival celebrating Latinx Pride. It was really fun. A lot of people came out. Yeah, and amazing food, obviously. Oh my God, the chicharron I had down the block, it was chef's kiss. It's a lot of fun. It just gets better every year. We hold it down. You know, Latin people, we know how to party, and so, you know, we all love to get down and, yeah, have a good time. It's an amazing. If you're not here, you're missing it.
More than 80,000 people attended the Gay Ocho Festival. Gay Ocho will be back in 2023 for its 7th year.
And speaking of popular festivals that are back after COVID, the trendy Coconut Grove neighborhood held its 58th Arts Festival over the weekend after it was shut down last year. The 3-day event brought more than 350 artists to showcase their paintings, glass creations, and other kind of art in 15 different mediums. Many of the artists come from various backgrounds, including some who have swapped high-profile careers in the corporate world to follow their passions.
Sitting in front of a computer, though still a creative channel, just didn't do it for me. So I walked away from that business. We opened a gallery down in the Caribbean and I started painting again full time, and now back in the States for the last 8 years, trying to get my work in front of more people. And
the festival also had food, drinks, and a DJ who performed on a set that was actually being painted while he played music. The event drew tens of thousands of visitors.
And Miami is also a city that embraces the art form of graffiti. For those of you who haven't visited Wynwood, you should know that firsthand. And now the world's most famous mysterious street artist is making his mark here in Miami. The anonymous British artist known as Banksy has an exhibit open in Miami. Banksy has captivated people with his unique artistic choices, and now his exhibit named Without Limits is at the Ice Palace Studios in downtown Miami. More than half of the art in the exhibit are original Banksy pieces. Banksy is notorious for his unsettling art critiquing government, war, and other issues around the world.
Not only this is such a beautiful exhibition that we're standing in, the vision behind it and why we all put love and care to build this is because the vision behind it. You know, some may say it's on the risque side. It's definitely not traditional art, but it does make you think deeper.
Banksy has smuggled his art into museums, tagged buildings across the world, and even purposely shredded one of his own pieces at an auction. And you can visit the exhibit now until April 17th. Switching gears now, though, the weather has been awesome all week, Claire.
It makes me feel like heading to the beach.
Interesting. Well, we have weathercaster Jared Maloney here to let us know how this weekend is looking.
Jared, will I be able to rent my paddleboard and head to the beach?
Well, I'm not going to hold you in suspense. It's going to be a great beach weekend in general. Right now, we are in the upper 70s. We've cooled off from a pretty warm day today. And actually, let's take a look at South Florida in general. Right in Miami, oh, well, unfortunately, these aren't showing up. But in Miami, we were in the lower 80s. But as we see, like we don't see here, but in Naples and Fort Myers, we had 88 in Naples, 89 in Fort Myers. Those were two record highs for the day today. That was beat the record high set only just 4 years ago. So another one set there. So now let's take a look at our radar right now. We have a little bit of scatter going on as we see that high pressure is pushing these winds off of the East Coast. And really, though, this is of no concern. Like, if anything, it's a brief drizzle, and that will be the case for the next couple of days. So just nothing to worry about there. Further north, though, we do have something of interest. We have a low pressure system over the Midwest right now, and that is going to continue to move towards the Northeast. As we see in our futurecast here, the low is going to deepen and really solidify as we head into Friday. And as you see, Friday AM, we have a whole area of inch-an-hour snowfall rates all across Massachusetts. And for snow totals, it's going to be a little fun there. They'll get something there as we see on the snow totals here, model forecast from the same model that we just saw there. We have a good 12 to 8 inch contour surrounded Boston heading towards Albany, New York. But unfortunately, a lot of the schools there are actually not canceling colleges. Many of them are having Zoom classes instead, which unfortunately, I mean, I guess snow days are a relic of the past for a good portion of our country. But back in Florida, it is warm and sunny. As we see that high pressure, it's been here for so long, and it's actually finally going to start to die down, but it's not done with this yet. And it's going to bring us some great weather across the weekend here as we're going to be into the lower 80s all over the weekend. But now, for the official beach forecast, the UV is not too much to worry about. It's really sunny. The winds are, the water is really nice and easy, except we do have a rip current risk going from Friday through Saturday. It might be extended to Sunday. You should be having a grand old time if you're just sitting out on the beach or just having a little bit of time in the water. But if you're having an extended time in the water, it's going to be a little mess there. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we talked about that. It's going to be great. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it'll be fantastic there as we go through. Maybe a front approaches later this week. That'll be all we have.
Oh, great weather, but no more snow days? Anyways, thank you, Jared. And earlier this month, Miami residents decided to create a wave of change and cleaned up after others. Reporter Althea Castro de la Mata brings you more.
Empty cans, plastic bags, cigarette butts, used masks, and more, all found thrown on our beautiful beaches. Kaloni Pennington is a 32-year-old volunteer from Miami who has been trying to make a difference in her community for quite a while.
Why it's important to take care of our planet and, why plastic pollution is a problem and all this trash.
Kaloni is one of more than 50 volunteers who participated in a beach cleanup on February 5th. The Surfrider Foundation, who was on a mission to save the oceans, organized the event.
I'd like to say protecting the waterways. One of our big things really is single-use plastic and doing away with if possible, but at least using less.
The beach cleanup took place in South Point Beach, and the organizers provided volunteers with water, buckets, and gloves.
The Surfrider Foundation hosts these beach cleanups at least once a month, gathering up to 100 pounds of trash per cleanup. And it starts by simple action of just gathering trash and putting it in these buckets.
USA Today says at least 14 million tons of plastic end up in the ocean each year. And since last century, at least 18 trillion pounds of plastic has been produced so far. Volunteers managed to gather nearly 100 pounds of trash at the cleanup. Next time you see trash on the ground, make sure to pick it up because every piece makes a difference. I'm Althea Castro de la Mata reporting for UMTV.
We will take a short break right now, but when NewsVision returns, I'll bring you an update on all things sports. It's wins for both Canes basketball and baseball this week. We'll have highlights and more in just a minute. Don't go anywhere.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear?
Clothes.
That's right, so it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're going to take the laces, we're going to cross them over, we're going to turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Welcome to sports. I'm Regina Potenza. The men's basketball team traveled to Pittsburgh this week for an ACC matchup. So, how did the Canes fare? Let's take a look at the highlights. Starting off at the end of the first half, the Canes have a 12-point lead. Jordan Miller finds a cutting Anthony Walker, throws it down to extend the Hurricanes' lead. Walker was fired up. Second half of the play, Isaiah Wong spins into the lane, fakes it, scoops it in. What a fantastic shot. Later in the game, Sam Wardenberg drives down the baseline and throws a two-hand jam. This will put the Canes up by 24 points. Miami wins this with a final score of 85-64. This week, Canes baseball kicked off its season with a sweep against Towson, followed by a win against FAU last night. Starting pitcher Carson Liggins spoke after the game about the Canes win.
My changeup was definitely working for me today. It's typically my best pitch, so I started to really hit its groove in like the third inning, I'd say, and then from there I really took off with it.
The Canes jumped out to a 1-run lead before FAU tied things up, but things changed in the third inning when Maxwell Romero Jr. put Miami in front with a sacrifice fly to center field. Carson Liggins pitched lights out and held FAU to 1 run for the rest of the game. Offense would not be a problem for the Canes, who would go on to score 9 runs. Miami wins this one by a final score of 9-1. The transition from high school to college can bring people many challenges, excitement, and a lot of unknown. But as UMTV reporter Caroline McDonald explains, some University of Miami students don't have to leave their love for sports at home.
For most high school athletes, there will come a time where the sport that they love and have played since elementary school comes to an end. According to Varsity Sports, only 7% of high school athletes move on and play sports at the collegiate level. However, no one really talks about the transitional period for the other 93%.
I see a lot of people struggling with it, a lot of kids struggling with it. I think that, one, it's changing their sense of identity. Two, they feel a lack of purpose that I think that the sport provided for them. And I think that that can be really, really difficult.
One way student athletes make these challenges less hard to face: participating in recreational and intramural sports.
It can provide the sense of team that they had, the competitiveness, the drive, a little bit of the purpose. It can just help ease the transition.
The University of Miami Rec and IM program offer over 40 different sports, so athletes can get another chance on the field.
I mean, a lot of us came playing high school soccer, and then coming in, we're not playing club or anything. And to find these group of guys over here and be playing with them, it's nice to find that companionship again with sports.
It definitely means a lot, especially growing up playing the game so much, almost 7 days a week, my whole life. It means a lot to still be able to play here, have fun with a bunch of my friends.
The development and competitiveness of the IM sports program has not gone unnoticed by UM student athletes and has become something they love about UMiami.
I definitely think that's a very important part, especially young athletes, being able to almost give up the dream, but still be able to partake in the sport they've played their whole life.
That was Caroline McDonald reporting. If you're interested in joining UMiami intramural teams, you could sign up for 5v5 full court basketball and 2v2 sand volleyball by 11:59 p.m. tonight at the imleagues.com/Miami. That's all for sports. I'm Regina Potenza for UMTV.
Student athletes at the University of Miami have busy schedules between classes, practices, and games with not much downtime in between. But I caught up with one track and field sprinter who also spends his time in the studio. During the day, Caleb Chevis can be found tying his shoes, jumping, and running, all to prepare for his next meet.
Brings a really good passion for the sport. I think he wants to push and he wants to be great.
But at night, Chevis is focused on something different.
some of the stresses of running, I balance out with singing.
Diego Flacker, Chevis's coach, says it's not every day you see an athlete equally passionate about something else.
It is a little different, but obviously that's something that he's been doing for some time, and he's had success with it and enjoying it. So that speaks volumes for that as well.
Chevis, a pre-physical therapy sophomore, says both passions allow him to express himself.
So singing is just kind of my way of letting out what's inside, and track's kind of the way I let out what's on the outside.
He let out his love for his parents for their 25th wedding anniversary by turning a poem they wrote into music with the help of his mom.
So me and her sat down, and she kind of had this little melody in her head, so I just worked with the melody I found.
And that melody turned into a song, 44 Summers of Love, on Spotify and Apple Music. His long-term goals are to keep singing, but for this upcoming semester,
I want to shock myself. I've always been told, like, oh, you're a good singer, oh, you're a good runner, but like, that's not enough for me. I want to be an excellent singer. I want to be an excellent athlete, I want to be an excellent runner. And I believe that this season will be the way that I can do that breakout with track.
I definitely wish I could sing like that. Well, the indoor ACC championship started today, and Chevis told me he's hoping to race well enough to qualify for nationals this year. And coming up after the break, reporter Alex Terr will be live at the Watsco Center for tonight's O-Cheer event. Don't go anywhere. NewsVision, we'll be right back.
NewsVision. Here's how we stay safe here at UMTV with COVID-19.
When entering the studio, always make sure to sanitize your hands. Don't forget to rub it in. Next, wipe down any surface you plan on touching. I gotta write the show, so I'm gonna wipe my keyboard down.
And now we're ready for the show. Remember, this is the only time we get to take off that mask. Hey Julia, we ready up there?
Ready, camera 2, and take it.
Good evening and welcome to NewsVision. I'm Liam Fabre.
Greek Week has been happening here on campus all week, and that's when fraternities and sororities at UM team up in many competitions to raise money for different charities. Some of the events included blood drives, a coin war, and where each team could ask people for donations.
And this year, all proceeds raised throughout the week will be going to Feeding South Florida, which is a local food bank. Right now, we go live to our reporter, Alex Terr, who is outside the Watsco Center where the competition began a short while ago. Alex, we can hear the music behind you, but how are the moves inside?
Well, guys, it was definitely a throwback Thursday here at the Watsco Center where this week's Greek Week theme was Nickelodeon. That's right, every dance that just happened was based off of a classic childhood show like the Rugrats and, of course, everyone's favorite underwater cleaning product, SpongeBob SquarePants. We were able to check out a ton of the action inside where we even saw one dancer do a flip. The Sun Stations would have definitely approved of all the choreography. We heard tons of cheers and even a couple of jeers as fraternities and sororities battled it out through the art of dance. All in all, there are 6 teams performing, with the winner going to the Ren and Stimpy show. Hopefully, there wasn't too much slime when covering Watsco Center. Reporting live, I'm Alex Terr. Back to you guys at the studio.
Thank you, Alex. And Claire, let's congratulate the new guy for his first time on air, his first live shot.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe it'll be my first time singing tonight. I'll head over there. You can dance. I'll sing.
Get a little dance moves.
All right, that is all the time that we have for tonight. Thank you for joining us.
And we'll be back next week with another edition of NewsVision. But until then, have a great night.